Okay, that's Aubrey Plaza. There's Aubrey again. Some of these are... That's the brand that they used to brand the kids with that Paul Bonacci referred to. All right, some of these are... All right, let's make this a little more... To anyone that's a band, this is a K-pop band, 2 p.m. Tekashi 6ix9ine, obviously. 21 Savage, 50 Cent. There's Seth Green, you know about him with the Isaac Cappy stuff. I don't know what to think of Isaac Cappy, but there's that. And then Macaulay Culkin, who's obviously a Satanist. Playing the role of Michael Alec, the murderer who likes to hang out with the amazing Desmond beneath his Rohypnol painting. Alfred Hitchcock. Aaliyah. Remember, she was with R. Kelly. Aaron Paul, Breaking Bad. Adam Lambert, sporting his Aleister Crowley t-shirt. Adam Lambert having a homosexual moment with someone else. Always the kilt. It's a little pyramid for you. They do love their snakes, don't they? Vow of Silence, Harpocrates, Adam Lambert. Let's just do this, guys. Adam Levine. See, you would find this in like a little quick video and you just think, oh, well, but when they all do it, it's not just, oh, that was just a convenient freeze frame. Nope. Not a convenient freeze frame at all. He's got his 222 tattooed. I guess he likes his Gamatra. Got a little eyeball action on his shoulder here. Of course. It's always, oh, I love these celebrities. Maroon 5, they're so great. Look what they're... I'll let my kids listen to it. Checked out. That's Adam Levine, by the way. Tongue thing, I argue that the reason why you see so many celebrities who throw up all these symbols sticking out their tongues all the time is because that's a classic sign of demon activity. Doing a little vow of silence. Who's he hushing? Who are they hushing? Right? Is he telling the crowd who's like clapping for him to shh? Be quiet. Shh. He's doing it again. This guy is apparently a Christian musician, Adam Young. I had somebody, actually a friend, ask me about him and say, would you look into him? It took me about 5 minutes. And I unfortunately ruined their enjoyment of his music. There he is again. Oh, it's just a hangout. Hanging loose. There he is again. Adam Young. I believe this guy, I'm not sure who he is. He's famous somewhere. I just show it's globally. This is some kind of Adele Yord, I believe is their name. Adele, of course. Guys, we're still in the A's. You know what? If you want to hang out with me for a while, I'll show you everything I got. I'll show you everything I got right now. Adele. Just in case you think, oh, this is just you're imagining things. Nobody's imagining anything. It's not a conspiracy theory anymore. Like, they're all friggin' doing it. Oh, it's just the way she combed her hair, Adele. Adolf Hitler liked to do it's like a classic witchcraft hand pose. This pyramid business. And John Todd, to tie it back into there, said, like, if they're on your television, you can just check them off. Said if they're in rock and roll, like if they're a rock musician, you have to be an initiated witch, a member of a coven. Oh, I'm sure he's just a Texas Longhorn fan. Adrian Brody. Adrian again. Adrian. This ID magazine is just every single one of their cover photos. Doesn't matter who it is. It's always some version of the one eye. This is some kind of, I believe it's a German ad. It's in your advertising all the time. So she's doing that. She's doing the 666. Oh, that's just a coincidence, though, guys. We're just imagining things here. We're not well. Agnes Dean. There she is again on the cover of ID magazine. Now, honestly, the more I look at these, though, I actually do believe that a lot of them, not all, but a lot of them actually are MK Ultra victims. Or some sub-project they're in. I mean, who knows? Who knows what it's called and how many projects there are today? This is still the same girl, by the way. Really, guys? Really? That's her in between, I guess, to some kind of fashion mogul and some... I don't know. You guys, really? It's just a thing? Did the photographer ask them to do that? Is that what it was? Whoever was just taking this low-quality image in the nightclub, he's just like, hey, by the way, guys, Agnes, would you wink and, like, weirdo on the right, would you cover, or I'm sorry, Agnes, would you cover the bald gentleman's eyeball with your hand? And weirdo on the right, would you cover your right eyeball as well? Oh, that's perfect. It's so artistic. It's never been done before. On Sohee, I guess she's I'm really not sure. Sounds Korean. Aiden Turner. Akon. Al Pacino. That's just something I got for the archives. Al Pacino. Oh, not my favorites. Yeah, all of them. All your favorites. Even your little Jim Halpern, the squeaky clean. Oh, their relation, him and Pam. All of them. Al Sharpton. Jay-Z. Al Sharpton, and I don't know who these other fellows are. I'm sure they're famous somewhere. Somebody knows them. Oh, he didn't he have he had a show on MSNBC, is that right? Or CNN, one of the two? Yeah. YouTube's going to be promoting authoritative sources of your news soon. They already are. Brought to you by dun dun that Alan Rickman, Harry Potter, dead now. Hope he repented. Alan Rickman. See that people think, oh, they're just winking. Oh, it's just artistic. No, there's absolutely no point to that. None. So when you start to see the photos, when you see them doing a strategic wink, don't just ignore it, guys. And just say, well, see, that's what people do when they're somewhere between, like, I'm still asleep and I've woken up to this. They kind of look at an image like this and they're like, oh, well, that's just he's just winking. They're just winking at us. No. It's from that to even just covering up one of their eyeballs with their hair, like a poof of hair on there. No. It's strategic. Believe that. Alanis Morissette. Now this is photoshopped. I'm going to delete that right now because that's photoshopped. That's actually Jay-Z's hands. But, there's some truth to the photo. Aldous Huxley, Brave New World. The Doors named themselves after his book, The Doors of Perception. And we know that Jim Morrison was an avid occultist, was very into the works of Crowley. And Huxley was... The Doors of Perception were all about mescaline and psychedelic trips. And we know with MK Ultra, that's what my next video is going to be on. That's why you haven't seen one for a while. It's going to be several hours long. It's basically taking a lot of Dave McGowan's research and others and doing my best anyway to make a coherent sort of narrative as to just what in the heck has been going on. Alec Baldwin again. He's just, he's just in a crowd of people posing for the photo, and he's just like, I'm just going to tell him to shush. Just like everybody else in Hollywood does. We just like to do that. Shh. Stop applauding for me. Shh. Stop talking. They get so stupid with it too. Like, look at this. This is how they try to, because they know they've done it a billion times. They're like, well, how do we make it artsy? We've got to dress it up. We've got to make them believe that it's just artsy. I don't know. Alejandro Corzo, I guess that's a model. Alejandro Sanz, I believe he's look at that. Look at his not only doing the one eye, but he's got like a devil tattoo. Oh, it's all just edgy, guys. It's all just edgy. Then why is it all of your friggin' celebrities? Alec Weck, okay. And why is it that there's more and more Satanists that are like between the ages of 10 and 40 today, of these latest generations? Gee, do you think it's a coincidence? No. I think they've been brainwashing you to believe it's just edgy, and that's why I wear my 666 shirt and I throw up the devil horns and stick my tongue out and listen to Norwegian death metal. Alec Weck, or Jay-Z, or whoever the rapper is, or whoever it's not just, or the pop musician. Look at the crap that Britney Spears peddles. This is a guy from Rush, Alex Lifeson. So Rush, if you liked them back in the 80s, sorry to inform you, you're listening to an Illuminati band, of course. Alex Lora, he's a Mexican musician. Alex Newell, I guess he was in she, I'm not sure, sometimes these days. Orange is the New Black. So this is something... They're doing the one-eyed symbolism, the eye patch too. That's another thing to look at. It's interesting that Sammy Davis Jr. used to wear one a lot. He was a member of the Church of Satan as well. There's all kinds of clues left for you to look into, but a lot of people just go right back to sleep. But this is it's kind of alluding to Salvador Dali as well, who, by the way, was at the Rothschild. You remember those famous photos of the Rothschild party where they're all wearing like goat heads and yeah, Salvador Dali was there. He's also most definitely an illuminist. He does a lot of the one-eyed symbolism as well. Alex Newell, oh, that's just coincidence. It's just artsy, guys. Alexa Chung, Let me get a little more comfortable here. Pull up and relax a little bit. Ease on into this. Alexa Chung. Again, if you guys already know it, but if you guys want to just see how deep this goes, buddy, I'm going to sit here for a while today. We're just going to go through them. Talk about it. Alexa Chung. I'm not even sure who that is. I guess she's a fashion model. So she does that, you know. Oh, there's nothing. That's just on the street again. That's not even really a professional photograph. It's a photograph of a famous person, but it's not a professional photograph where this person is in a studio posing with their cigarette to do this. It's not as though the photographer would have been like, "Hey Alexa, listen, could you do the VI thing for me?" It just so happens that here she is. This is her again. You know, throwing up the devil horns, and wouldn't you know it, sticking out the tongue, because they like to stick their tongue out at you. Who are you mocking, as the Bible says? Sticking your tongues out. There she is again. We've seen Bieber doing that as well. There she is again. You know, at what point? There she is again. Most likely, especially this fashion industry, again, most likely, keeping it real, guys, mind control slave. You combine Fritz Springmeier's work with Russ Dizdar's work, and it starts to completely come into view. With Dave McGowan and others, and the picture starts to emerge in terms of what's going on. The Russ Dizdar component is they program them with satanic programming. This is why later in life they are witches. They start to be practicing Satanists. Alexander Skarsgard. Sounds Icelandic, Swedish, I'm sorry. This is another, I can't pronounce his name. He's got the shh hand. Probably MK Ultra. Or some version of it, whatever it is over there. Who would tattoo that on their finger? Didn't Rihanna start that, I think? There you go again. Alfred Hitchcock. Literally throwing up the devil horns for you. Oh, I bet it was just sex, drugs, and rock and roll back then. That's all it was. He's just a few people know this, but Alfred Hitchcock was actually a Kiss and Norwegian death metal fan. Just an avid consumer of it. There's Hitchcock again. See, back then nobody was hip to this. They might have looked at that photograph and they were like, that's a little weird. A little strange, but like, he's spooky. He makes spooky movies, and so it kind of fit. Now we know what that is. Just totally normal. Totally normal photograph. Boy, he throws it up a lot, doesn't he? Alfred Hitchcock. It goes back to the very beginning days of Hollywood, folks. Here's Alice Cooper, born again Christian. Alex Cooper, who he's born again, but then in his shows on stage, he'll be decapitated, and people will grab the decapitated head out of the receptacle, and they'll French kiss it. He plays with Johnny Depp in some kind of vampire band. Here he is hanging out with the well-known illuminist Salvador Dali. Got his break from Frank Zappa, with Frank Zappa back in the day in Laurel Canyon. And Frank Zappa, as you'll be seeing in my next video, boy, he throws up the signs a lot, number one. It was interesting, early in my research, I wasn't finding a lot on Frank Zappa. But Dave McGowan's research forced me to like hammer in on him, to hone in, and I found all kinds of. He's doing the 666 over his eyeball, throwing up the devil horns, sticking his tongue out, throwing up the devil horns. And he comes from, Frank Zappa came from an MK Ultra house. His dad worked at Edgewood Arsenal. And he was a chemical warfare specialist. And Edgewood Arsenal is cited in the literature as being a known location for some of the MK Ultra experiments. So there he is with the bunny rabbit. You know, you guys are familiar. Hopefully you are by now. The rabbit symbolism that they love to display. It's just, it has like a pagan undertone. Pagan undertones to it, but it also has to do with their fertility cults, and it's another way for them to nod to one another. So John Varvatos, this is an ad for them. Just Alice Cooper, born again Christian. Just Snake just happens to be covering his eyeball. You know. Hey, if you want to fall for all this stuff, go for it. You know. But you ask, like, Justin Bieber's not a Satanist. You know, I had a guy come on today. Bob Dylan's not a Satanist. You know. Bob Dylan's logo, not only does Bob Dylan throw up the signs all the time, has literally told you that he went to the crossroads and came back playing differently. And there are friends of his in interviews that confirm, like, yeah, he like left for a couple of months, came back and was like a virtuoso. It was weird. So he throws up the symbols. His official logo. Go look up Bob Dylan logo. There's an eye of Horus in it. Like a literal. It's not just the eyeball. It's the eye of Horus sitting there looking at you. At one point, he claimed to have been Christian. And then in a Rolling Stone interview, like he was asked about, you know, he's a born-again Christian. He said, well, I never said I was born again. He's like, come on, guys. At a certain point, it's time to stop falling for the Brian Head Welch, Alice Cooper, Justin Bieber BS. Do you know what they are? They're snakes trying to convince you that you can be worldly and continue to follow Jesus Christ. And you can't. They're not compatible. You can't be an Alice Cooper, hop up on stage, get your head chopped off on a chopping block, have a performer on stage with you, French kissing your decapitated head while it's bleeding makeup blood, and then say, I'm Christian. Just doesn't work like that. You know? You don't get to be Justin Bieber driving around with the linen of kings, right? In the fanciest of cars, right? With all the girls throwing themselves at him. At Hillsong conferences, wearing Marilyn Manson t-shirts. Come on, folks, wake up. You have to make a choice. You don't follow Christ and be worldly still. That's the lukewarm church. You're following it because you have itching ears for it. It's not going to go well for you on the day of judgment. Because you know full well that you lived a worldly existence and really were not living for Christ. But you listened to people who told you. You think you have plausible deniability. I was told. You followed men. You did not follow the Bible. You did not follow God's word. Anyway. Off soapbox. Okay, let's continue. There he is. How is that not mocking? You know? How is this not a mocking picture? Alice Cooper excuses Marilyn Manson for Columbine. How can you blame that on him? He says. It's interesting. These musicians, they love to claim that music is so positive, right? It's so great. It entertains. It has such a positive influence. But the moment you suggest, like, maybe when you're like pumping out satanic, violent lyrics that'll have an impact on people, Nah, man, those people were just crazy to begin with. No, you're influencing them. You know you are. You know you are. You know what? Culture doesn't imitate. Life imitates art. Right? That's a saying. Life imitates art. You know, they set the trends, which then become popular. But they try to twist everything's upside down world with them. No, no, no. We reflect the culture. No, you create just like in. That's why Dave McCowan's research is so important. If you go back and look at the Laurel Canyon scene, this weird hippie movement comes out of literally nowhere from some guy named Vito, who apparently was like some kind of bohemian gypsy that helped make the Laurel Canyon bands famous. And the next thing you know, they're all dressing like hippies, and then the rest of the country becomes a hippie. It's the other way around. You know, life imitates art. Okay, Alice Gilbert. We're still not even, if you haven't noticed this, by the way, we're not even out of the A's still. Actually, not even close. Let's continue. Alicia Keys. Alicia Keys. Alicia Keys. Has a great voice. Super talented woman. I used to like her music. You know, unfortunately. Elisa Ashman. I have no idea who that is. Probably a model. The fashion industry, I haven't done a video on that yet. I'd like to, because the fashion industry is just flooded with this stuff. Alison Brie. Again, Harpocrates. Harpocrates. Look it up. Check it out if you wanted to know. Why are they doing that? Alison Sudol. You got the owl symbolism as well. Boy, man. They always pack the images chock full of goodies for you. Alan Zeeman, he's some kind of investor overseas, some kind of businessman. Yeah, Hong Kong's greatest showman. Boy, his hand looks like... Can I just remark, his hand looks in a deformed kind of way, like very tiny. Could just be the... Doesn't matter. I'm not here to insult. Pray for these people, right? But sometimes it gets a little comical and frustrating as you're looking at it all and just saying, what in the heck? Allen Ginsberg. The Buddhists love him. Naropa Institute, Naropa University. He was a faculty member there. He was a student of a tantric sex addict, no other way to put it, named Chogyam Trungpa, of Vajrayana Buddhism. If you look into Crowley's magic, what was it all about? Tantric sex magic. Allen Ginsberg, member of NAMBLA, Man Boys Lovers Association. And there he is again, doing the one-eyed for you. This is like this reminds me of the Jerry Garcia famous photograph of him dressed as Uncle Sam in U.S. Blues. By the way, listen, if you're hanging out watching this video right now and you haven't watched all my videos, you hang out and just hear me riff for a little while, like you'll get a lot of information. Look up the lyrics to U.S. Blues. The lyrics were written by Bob Hunter. It's by the Grateful Dead, okay? The lyrics were written by Bob Hunter. Bob Hunter participated in the MK Stanford University LSD tests, just like Ken Kesey, or Ken Kesey, I'm sorry, and who else am I thinking of? Oh, it doesn't matter. It'll come to me later. Look up the lyrics to that song. I'm Uncle Sam, that's who I am. Been hanging out in a rock and roll band. While their main video is showing you a pyramid with the eyeball in it. They're letting you know, folks. This has all been one giant Hegelian dialectic. order out of chaos. This the 1960s and onward. I mean, it started a bit earlier than that, but the 1960s, like the United States, Western culture, it wasn't a drug culture. The hippie movement, the identical, like, cloned musicians that came out of Laurel Canyon that just burst on the scene, the music that accompanied it too. And then that's when it started, man. That's when it started, and it's Crowley's pipe dream. Diary of a drug fiend to the T. This was what Crowley envisioned for the future, and here it is. Ginsberg again. They let you know, folks. All the people that you thought, all the quote mainstream icons of your counterculture were brought to you by none other than the establishment. That's why to get it back to a little bit real quick to the videos question about channels that's why in this digital age they're trying still, in the last decade or so, ever since the internet, in the last 15, 20 years since the internet came on the scene, they're trying to figure out just how to put it back away, to make it go away. But then there's others of them too that just love the chaos. Like I said, they just love it. They're just like, let people tell the truth. Let conspiracy theorists do their thing. Let people expose this. It doesn't matter. It's all good. As long as we dive and descend into more and more madness, we're happy. We're good. Because that's how we're going to bring the peace. Everything's going to get so maddening and confusing, and we're going to bring clarity and light to the whole situation. Ali X. Okay, I don't know who this is. Allison Williams. Guys, it's all Alton Brown. I don't know. Look who these people. Look up who these people are. You yourself may be saying, I don't know this person. They're not a celebrity. Yeah, they are though. They're all celebrities. They're all famous to many people. Maybe just not to you. But you are not the arbiter of who is influenced in your general culture. Alyssa Milano. Remember her from... my memory's not so good anymore. What was that movie? What was that TV show that she was on, guys? With, oh gosh. I can't even remember the guy's name. If somebody remembers in the chat room, let me know. What was the name of that show? Alyssa Milano. This is like her first role. Who's the boss? That's right, yeah. Sorry, I bumped to the microphone. Who's the boss? Thank you. Amanda Bynes. So Amanda Bynes, as you know, she accused her father of sexually abusing her. As a child, she throws up the symbolism all the time. She went in and out of rehabs. Here she is with her boyfriend at the time, J.J. Brine, whose eyeball... Look at his eyes. Right? But let's go down. Look at his shirt. The devil is the Lord... The Lord is the devil, and it's inverted on the bottom. There's like zombies walking among us, folks. Zombies. That's Amanda Bynes when she was young. I think she had a show on Nickelodeon. There she is. Years later, once the Beast System had their way with her. And there she is in prettier times, but before the facade and mask of the Beast System became that. Throwing up her programming cues. You better believe it, folks. You're going to tell me that this girl right here, when she was just a little bit younger, she just decided one day, she's like, you know what? I'm going to become a Satanist. You know what? I am a Satanist right now. She's a Satanist. No. ID Magazine again. It's like one of their... I challenge anyone, find a cover. That's their thing. Find a cover that doesn't have them doing this. You won't find one. Amanda Seyfried? I don't know. Okay, Amanda Heard. Sorry for that one, folks, if it caused you to lust. Please forgive me, God. Amber Valletta. Don't know who that is, but they just like to strategically place dice over their eyeball. Because, you know, this is just artsy. Amelia Arsenic. Not sure who that is. American Hi-Fi. He's just telling you to be quiet. Be quiet. Anna Boljevic. Okay, I guess she's probably a fashion model. Hey, we're still not out of A's, just so you know. We're still in the A category. There she is again. Kind of looks like Silent J and Silent Bob. J. But I don't know who that is. I can't pronounce it. Anati, I think he's a South African musician. There he is again, throwing up the pyramid. It's global, folks. It's not just he runs your world. This is not a test. This is not a drill. You will either wake up at some point in your life or you're out of luck. Bible's not fiction. It's not a fairy tale. Your world is the fiction. Your world is the fairy tale. Andrea Kaur. Andre Payek. I don't know. I'm horrible with pronunciation. I always have been. There he is again. Kind of has an interesting chin. Mighty big hand for a... Just saying. Now, I am not, even though I'm saying this, I am not one of those people, I really am not, who believes that everybody in Hollywood is male to female or female to male. I just don't. I haven't seen that to be true. I think that there are several instances of that, but to just say it's across the board, I haven't seen enough for that. You know. So if you think that I just go with anything, I try very much to be discerning. This is wild, wacky stuff, man. It's hard to know where to draw the line sometimes because your world is just so up in the air. Andre Calamaro, Andrew Fletcher of Depeche Mode, Andrew Garfield, I guess he's an actor. What's he got on the ring? Is that a Spider-Man or an alien? And that's the other weird thing. Miley Cyrus has like the weird alien ring, is what, like the alien tattoo on her finger, the gray alien. And I have the girl that I dated, who I believe to have been a victim of satanic ritual abuse. She was obsessed with like gray alien, not just like the Alice in Wonderland stuff, but like gray alien imagery. And when you look into this stuff, you know, I think all that stuff that, hey man, you can take whatever I'm going to say here with a grain of salt. Whatever. Number one, I believe they're demons. Number two, I also believe that, you know, how you used to hear the research from like people like Bill Cooper and the underground bases and all that stuff. Frankly, I believe, because if you look into the stories from people that have been ritually abused, these people will like dress up as, not only that, they'll administer really hardcore drugs to these children, LSD, cocaine, whatever it is. And then they might dress up as something frightening and scary for them to further traumatize them. I actually think that that may account for some of it. I don't know. All I do know is that the quote alien phenomenon, especially these people that are talking about having telepathic connections with these beings from another galaxy and all this stuff, it's like what you're describing here is supernatural. Like, you're not talking about, they even will sometimes refer to them like they're like multi-dimensional beings. Yeah, they're multi-dimensional beings, all right. In the Whitley Strieber connection, let's go back to that real quick too, because you guys might have not seen all my videos. Whitley Strieber, or Strieber, the guy who wrote Communion, which, you know, on the front cover of Communion, it's about his his quote abduction experiences. I think it started in like 1985 in upstate New York. His background: he had grown up in a military family, had been tested on an Air Force base in Texas. Then when he went to Europe, to London, in his college years, got hooked up with the Process Church of Final Judgment, escapes from them because he's hearing all kinds of crazy, wacky stuff about them, comes back home to the States, and then in 1985 he just so happens to get visited by an alien, a gray alien. Sure. Andrew Watt. Oh, is Batfink here? I think they gotta go. I can't keep track of who all the people are, man, sometimes. I apologize if the room's out of control or people are saying things. I just try to focus on making the videos. Andy Warhol, right? The famous artist, right? There's Andy again. Oh, that's just artsy. It's just artistic. Is that one too? Is that just artistic as well? You can play that one off. That one's been done 1,000 times too. Like, let me put the camera on the camera. But that was just another, somebody was like, hey Andy, listen man, would you like cover up your eyeball with your hand for me for a little while? Just want to take a couple photos. Hey Andy, would you like grab the corner of your eyeball and point to it? Point to your eyeball. Angel Hayes. She's got eyeball. Like, here, are you starting to look at this? Look how many symbols. Let's count them. How many symbols are contained here? Can you count with me? All right. It looks to me like she has a butterfly rings on. Right here. Butterfly rings. Her jacket and her sweatshirt have eyeballs all over them. And she's throwing out the devil horns. Gee, I wonder what might have happened to this person. There she is with the tongue. And the devil horns. And there's double meaning there with the devil horns, as you all know. There she is with the devil horns again. She's apparently some kind of rap artist, I believe. Again, I don't know. I feel like I am old. I am old now. I'm 41 years old. I get to now be the guy who's out of touch with like what the kids are listening to today. And like who all the famous popular people are. I only know them because of this. You come on my radar when you do this. I'm not going to comment about genders here. But Angela Merkel, Angelina Jolie, of course. We're still in the A's, folks. We haven't even graduated to B yet. Angelina Jolie. You know, Angel Spit. I guess this is some kind of rock band. No, it's just rock and roll, just like Alfred Hitchcock. Just a rock and roll thing. Well, it's a rock and roll thing because that music came from a certain place. And all those ministers in the 80s and 90s who were warning you, it's the devil's music. And you were thinking, oh, you're so silly. I love me like my Led Zeppelin, my Zoso. I love AC/DC Hell's Bells. You guys are making, it's just edgy, it's just entertainment. Nope. You were brainwashed, you were hoodwinked, you were suckered. Angel Spit again. That's her there. There she is again. She just, just a little skull and bone action. Eye patch, skull and bone, one eye symbolism with a little bit of skull and bone bow tie brooch. Because, that's how normal people dress. There she is again. Eye patch. Okay, let's go a little. There you go. Angus Young, AC/DC. Speak of the devil, right? Wearing it's just entertainment. Come on. It's just a joke. Just wearing the devil horns, putting little devil. You're a dummy. I'm not trying to be rude, but at a certain point, can you stop just being in denial? And just start looking at it and being like, holy crap. Quit making excuses. Quit saying, I tell you, the young people today, some see it, but a lot of young people, they think they're so smart. I was the same way. I remember I was on a cruise ship in Europe a few years back, and nice family. We were all sitting at the table, and I talk about this stuff in any kind of company because I don't care. I feel like, look, I'm not here to fit in. I'm not here to have a nice, happy conversation. So, like, if we're going to sit down and all eat dinner, like, absolutely, like, we'll have a good time. But, like, I'm going to be me. And while I have the opportunity, I would like to share with you something about the world. And, the young guys making all the usual excuses. Oh, it's just a joke. It's just a joke in the industry. Really? You think that? And you just get this look, and it's like, you have not done an ounce of research. Number one, you haven't lived yet. You haven't lived much. But that's besides the point. It's not about that so much. It's just, have you taken the time to see, or have you assessed that there's nothing to all this after watching 5 minutes of somebody's so-called conspiracy video? Anya Konstantinova, I don't know, eye patch, one eye, yawn. Anya Rubik again. These are all fashion models. Anna Cleveland, there she is again. Anna Kendrick, I think she's some kind of actress. Just throwing up little devil horns. Oh, she's just like a party girl at the college town. Woohoo! Oh, is she now? Really? Oh, come on. Everybody does. This is not my name. Really? Are they like having sex before marriage? Do they blaspheme God? Yeah, all these things. Oh, really? Oh, interesting. Nah, but they're not Satan. They're not Satanists. They're just like living in total sin on the side of darkness. Let's give give them the benefit of the doubt. People that say like, well, they're not an actual Satanist. Like, well, look at the lifestyle. Ma'am, you are like blasting us with your breasts. There's Anna Kendrick again. Just in case you wondered, oh, just a cute little party girl. You know, just a party girl. There you go. There she is again. Throwing up a little, but that's probably not enough for you either. If you're still a skeptic out there. You know, oh, it's just an, you know, the pyramid doesn't mean nothing. Sure, it's got an eyeball in it. You're making something out of nothing here. There she is again, with the hexagram this time. I sure am glad that is not a symbol within Christendom, because it is a mystical, magical symbol. Next, Anna Magnani. I don't know who this is, but they're famous. Next, Anna Nicole Smith, of course. Everybody believes she was a programmed. One of Hugh's girls, Hugh Hefner. Another one is Paris Hilton. If you don't know what I'm talking about here, watch some of my videos. You'll see it covered. Hugh Hefner was most likely an MK Ultra programmer. Anna Pia, I don't know who this is. It's like you want to say to this person too, like, ma'am, you're 75. Ma'am, you're in your 70s. Like, it is time to stop being stupid. Anna Kim Victoria Petty. If you've been watching my videos, you know who this is. This is Tom Petty's daughter. Tom Petty's daughter. That's what happened to Anna Kim Victoria Petty. She got an Alice in Wonderland tattoo on her arm as well. She calls that story her gatekeeper. She also talks about going over rainbows. Anne Hathaway, if you remember too, Tom Petty, I can't remember which video it was. Don't Come Around Here No More. I can't remember which one it is. The whole theme is like Masonic checkerboard floors and Alice in Wonderland theme. And if you know anything again about Fritz Springmeier and others' research, Alice in Wonderland as well as Wizard of Oz and others are well-known programming tools in MK Ultra. Anne Hathaway. There's Anne Hathaway again. Actually, I don't think that was Anne Hathaway. I can't remember her name, but I think that's Anna Chung. That's Anne Hathaway, though. Throwing up a little devil. That's that Amanda Seyfried who we showed earlier. So we got two of them on stage. She's not throwing it up right now, but two on stage. I'm starting to see a pattern. How about you? Let's just continue connecting the dots while we're still in A, shall we? Anne Hathaway again. Anne Hathaway. I'm sure I used that for one of my videos. Anne Heche. She was an actress, famous at one point. There you go. That's on her book cover. Anne Marie. And I think I kept this just because of the moon tattoo. You know, people get these. If you haven't looked, by the way, Miley Cyrus, she is like the weirdest. It's like they're once they get of a certain age and they start getting all the tattooing and everything, their body reads like a horror story. You know, she's got like the evil eye tattooed on her, Miley. A little piece of pizza on her middle finger. She's got the little gray alien on one of the fingers. Yeah, she's got like the Illuminati eye tattooed on her. It's just, it never fails. Annie Leibovitz. I think she was like a really well-known award-winning journalist. Journalist. Trust your mainstream news, everybody. Trust these guys, not from my perspective. I don't trust it. Look, from a Christian perspective, I don't trust any organization whose motto is, we do not forgive, we do not forget. That's an anti-Christian statement. Expect us. That's a threatening, menacing motto. And I also don't like that they refer to themselves as Legion, which is another biblical reference. Gerasene demoniac. And they do target a lot of churches, actually. Now Westboro, Westboro is like the red herring that gets used. When they talk about Christianity in the mainstream press, they like to focus on Westboro because they want you to be anybody who's like a Bible believing Christian, like they want you to be associated with like Westboro, who like uses incendiary language, a hate group, but they want you to be associated with them. I had that happen, as a matter of fact, when I converted, when my eyes opened up to the truth of Jesus Christ and gave my life to Him. I had some Buddhists that in the early months, when they would see the kinds of things I would post on social media, like, you going Westboro on us, Adam? No, you should read a little bit more of this guy or that guy. And they were always like some kind of liberal Gnostic Christian. And I was always just like, no, I'm gonna stick to the Bible and see what it says. And Anthony Hopkins, he just wants to wink at you. He's just winking at you again, just a winker. Doesn't even look like a natural wink, does it? It's not like a casual, like I just happened to wink. It's like I'm going to close my eye, take the photograph. Now I am done. Hannibal Lecter. Little one eye for you. There you go again. Oh boy, these guys. Anthony Kiedis of Red Hot Chili Peppers, Dave Grohl. Nice tongue action, Dave. You, Kurt, you all threw up the cymbals as well. But no, I thought just like if you grew up in the 60s and you thought Hendrix and Zappa and all these guys were cool, anti-counterculture and all that. Nope. Nothing's changed. Yeah, he's total, especially Anthony. Like, he's a total Thelemite. Love, Sex, Blood, Magic. With a K. They spelled it magic with a K for that album. Go look him up. Look up him and his son. I don't know what's going on. I'm sorry. Yeah, his son. I'm not even going to give any commentary. Just go ahead and look. And then look up Flea and his family and all that. Flea, if you watched my videos, he's talking with River Phoenix about the things floating around in the air, and he just wants to invite them to come into his nostrils. I'll just leave it at that. You do your own discernment checks. I don't have to always do your homework for you. You put together the picture. There's Anthony again. By the way, he had a horrible childhood. Look into that as well. He had a horrible childhood. No wonder he turned out the way he did. Little one-eyed. Even with the cigarette. Oh, he's just winking. It's just artsy. The cigarette. They always have to up the ante because they know, like, dude, this has been so done before. Like, I gotta do the cult photo again. Let everybody know. Ha ha ha. We're all in on it. Ha ha ha. I'm under the control of the system. How do I do this in an artful, crafty way this time? I know. I'll stick my cigarette in my eyeball because I'm an artistic genius. There he is again. conspicuous one-eyed symbolism. Oh, it's just shadow. It's just light. No. Once your eyes are open, no. Every once in a while, you might be able to say that about a photograph here or there, but nah. We're talking about photo shoots, folks. We're talking about professional photography. There is nothing left up to chance in professional photography. Bill Schneblin and others talk about how when you see people, just so you guys know, when you see these people that are usually clearly occultists, in this case, not always as clear. You got Arnold Schwarzenegger, who kind of has a squeaky clean image. But that means that the person practices necromancy. They're a necromancer. So something to keep in mind when you see people, witches with their skull rings on. Antoine Degata. Don't know who that is. Antonio Banderas. Just thought he'd throw up a little. There he is doing the Harpocrates as well. There he is again. Oh, that's another example. How do I do this to make it look like, oh, I'm Rico Suave. Look at me. I'm going to put my arm behind my head and cover my other eyeball. You're an idiot, sir. I feel sorry for you. I look up to none of these people. They do not live a life I would want. This is this is a still from The Witch. The movie, mind you, if you are familiar with my story, my testimony, about all like the weird women that started to show up in my life. This is the movie that like the one random date who I was thinking one night, I was like, how does she connect to like the occult thing? Oh, right. Like we met on a dating app. We went to a movie and she took me to go see this movie, The Witch. Look at her eyes too. You can say, oh, this is just an actress. No, man, there's something there. There is something there. There she is again, doing a little one-eyed. She played the witch in that. The one that the Church of Satan endorsed. There she is again. Looking less witchy. Now she's making you think of that, you know, that cute high school girl who's now 22, 23, and you're like, hey, you know, you were a cheerleader. Nope, she's a witch. That's why she played one on TV. Oh, you're confusing reality. Like she only played one on TV. Really, then why is she throwing up like all kinds of witchcraft stuff? Why is she throwing up the pyramid, which is like one of the most well-known? Go look into it. Look at what like pagan witches do. Wiccans will be instructive for you because they do their stuff the most outwardly. Look at all their rituals. When they come up before the altar, they do that. That's a conspicuous Harpocrates right there. R.C. Munoz. Don't know who that is, but some fashion model. Aretha, that ain't Aretha Franklin, is it? Is that Aretha Franklin? I believe it is. That's Aretha Franklin. That's Aretha Franklin. She's Oprah does the same thing too. Same exact pose. They're not witches though. They're not witches. I don't think that was Aretha Franklin, but that is. If anybody knows who this woman is, let me know in chat so I can rename that. Aria Montgomery, Vow of Silence, Harpocrates. Again, we're still in the A portion of the alphabet still, folks. And my archive is like a drop in the bucket of what's actually out there. And I will continue to amass a gigantic database. Lest anybody come to me and be like, oh, you're imagining things. I'll be like, oh, really? Sit down for the next 10.5 hours while I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Because I like a challenge like that. Somebody wants to challenge me and say, oh, you're just crazy. You're just nuts. You belong. Oh, really? Okay, I take your challenge. Now sit down next to me. No. You don't get to say that unless you sit down and look at the evidence that I have to show you first. Then you can go. You can leave after the 10-hour presentation and say, nah, it's just crazy. He's just imagining it all. There you go. Ariana Grande, of course, who likes to sing that God is a woman. Classy. It's always an attack. It's number one. That's as pagan as you can get. It's Gnostic. If you don't know, when you hear Gnosticism, for a long time in my life, so you guys know, I used to be confused. I was like, well, Gnostics are Christian, right? They call themselves Christian. No, look into Gnosticism. There's like Yahweh is called like a demiurge, and above Yahweh is Sophia, like a female god, and Jesus is just simply like he's like below Yahweh. They get real weird with it, and it's basically Satanism. It's like you are your own God. You got to connect with your universal oneness. You are the universal son. Jesus was the archetype of universal sonship. They don't know where they get this garbage. Certainly ain't the Bible. You start to ask them about it, they have to like quote like books that are not scripture, which is your clue. If you want truth in life, read scripture. If you want a bunch of lies, don't read scripture. Listen to everything else. Arno, I don't know who that is. Arnold Schwarzenegger again, donning his necromancy ring. The governor. I'll be back. I can't do this very well. Yes, John Todd was correct. I can't do this accent good. We are all witches. Aja Butterfield. Aja Butterfield again. I don't know who that is. ASAP Ferg. Okay. There's also the ASAP Rocky, you know. It is so artsy that they are referencing one another. What homage, what respect between icons and lions of the industry. With the skinny jeans and the... You know, Mike Tyson, he's just as lost as everybody else. But I was watching one of his podcasts. He's got like this... He's trying to be like Joe Rogan these days, where they sit around and smoke pot together and talk about whatever, you know, shoot the breeze, you know. But he did say something that was right. He was talking about like the rappers back in the day, and I'm not holding up either as the standard. But he was like, who was the rapper that was sitting there while he was? Oh, it was Wiz Khalifa. That's the guy who was the guest during the show. And while Wiz is sitting there, like Mike's commenting to the other guy, and he's like, yeah, back when I was coming up, he was like the rap artists, like these are real men, like, you know, like you looked at him and like, this guy actually would kill you. like he's like, nowadays, like they're just so effeminate, you know, and you just don't get that. And he's like, but back in the day, now both are wrong examples for our world. Both. Actually, the old version is almost more destructive, you could say. Both are they're both destructive in their own ways, but it's very destructive in terms of the influence that it has on your culture. But, you know, yeah, and just the fashion industry itself, like, sir, are you a clown? Are you a clown? Maybe you are. Tyler, the Creator, I mean, I think he actually is a clown. ASAP Rocky. There's ASAP. ASAP. They like to flick you off a lot, too. Don't you love the grills? By the way, Madonna's got one as well. Madonna's, it's so gorgeous. Nothing like a pushing 70 aging pop star that gets the grill to stay relevant. There you go. I haven't even inspected this. Here he is in one of his outfits. Looks like some OTO stuff. Or Golden Dawn. There he is, hanging out inside of his pentagram. Here he is again. Pentagram. The candles, they're like literally in studio with what you can only... Let's just not breeze past this real quick. They're clearly performing a ritual. And these guys in the back, they're like the follow the leader guys. You know? Follow the leader ASAP. Rocky. This is what ASAP does. To hang out with ASAP, we got to do this. Clearly they're books. Those are books with satanic ritual in them. They're not about to sing choir. You know? Ash Stymist, I'm sorry, we're still have not left the A's. And I've done this video before, and like I give up, I tap out at a certain point. I'm gonna try to keep going. Because even there you go. You got everything. You got even like the little peace symbol, which is, so you know, if your eyes are not open still. Oh, I know. We're just imagining things. Look into the origin and history of this. It was a communist symbol, but way before that, it's an anti-Christian symbol. Saint Peter, the apostle Peter. This is the exact fashion in which he was crucified. Upside down with the broken arms. They call it the cross of the broken Jew. And rumor has it that the Antichrist is going to come under the guise and appearance of bringing peace. Imagine there's no heaven. I will. Oh, John. Oh, yes. It isn't hard to do. Imagine all the people. Oh, nice one-eyed symbolism, John. Nice. Let's see. Is this a? Should I have a better? They should. You know what they should do with the preview option is to have a better search option. Ashley Benson. Matter of fact, let me try this here. Yeah, there you go. Imagine all the people living. Oh, he was about peace and love for today. Woohoo! Let's go down. Let's continue down the rabbit hole, shall we? We'll return to this real quickly. Let's see what his son Sean does. I'm just carrying on an old family tradition. I am very proud of my Illuminati daddy. But no, it wouldn't be. What's the other Lennon son's name? Wouldn't be him, right? Julian Lennon? Julian Lennon's not a part of the club, right? But like, before we go to Julian. Uh-oh, that's the wrong bin. Let's see here. How about Yoko? Oh, what's that, Yoko? This is from one of your albums. Yes, I'm a witch. Oh, hi. It's all just a joke. It's just a joke. You just imagining, like she just said it, like it's tongue in cheek, you know? Like, nope. You're asleep, dummy. All right, Julian Lennon. Let's see. Julian Lennon on Twitter. Let's go on Twitter because I found this the other day. Let's go here and see what we may find. Oh, hi, Julian. Gee, I wonder if you're a part of the club. I wonder. It won't even take long. You got like the butterfly stuff again. More butterfly. Little eyeball action. That's his like official logo, so you know. They're sellouts, folks. Hi. Hi. All right. Back to business. All right, Ashley Benson. Ashley Carmichael. I don't know who that is, but he wants you to shut up. Ashley Graham. Well, at least they're not together anymore. But the Olsen twins, they're totally probably not MK Ultra at all. They just both happen to, date geriatric ward patients. And in her sister, Mary Kate's case, marry them. Who, by the way, Mary Kate married the brother of Nicolas Sarkozy, the head of France. And this guy was some kind of investment banker. Last name Sachs. I don't know. I think there is a connection to Goldman Sachs, but he didn't actually officially work for but I believe he is in the family network. Interesting. Ashley Tisdale. We're still in the A's, folks. Ashton. We built the software. It's called Thorn. I'm going to testify before Congress. Mila. Oh, well, she's so nice. She's not one of them, is she? Like, okay, he's got a Freemason hat on, but Mila Kunis, she's not a member of the club, is she? Oh, Mila. Well, hi, Mila. But I thought you guys were... We built the software. There she is again. Because we built the software to protect the kids. Remember the butterfly effect? Well, they built the software, all right. It's a little, that's a classic Freemason pose. And if you think that we're imagining it, we're not, because here he is with this Masonic hat. There you go. Oh, but Freemasons are tragically misunderstood. Mm-hmm. Sure. Having a good time there, Ashton and Mila. You gonna go get some barbecue after? Stop by Marina Abramovich's place. Drink a little goat blood. Go home. His girlfriend, right before he got famous, like, go look into this. There's some guy like getting convicted for killing his girlfriend, and he, like, Ashton Kutcher is like testifying on the stand about it. It's really weird. And like Ashton Kutcher, like, look, whatever, just check it out at some point. I haven't looked into it real hard, but usually when I do, I'm always just like, dude, I have questions. I have so many questions about my world. There's Asia Argento. We're still in the A's, folks. Apologize for that. This was Anthony Bourdain, who everybody believes was, quote, suicided by the Illuminati. Well, here she is hanging out with Marilyn Manson. Now, if that were all there was, that would already, in my book, make her a high-level suspect. But let's continue. Oh, that's just as J. Brett Prince would tell me. That's just, I love you. They love you. Little tongue action. J. Brett Prince as well. I'm just going to throw this out there real quick. Just going to challenge you guys. Seems to have kind of like a farting theme in a lot of his Christian videos as well. That's interesting. Only because there's been several books on demonology that I've read that actually state that demons have an affinity for flatulence, bodily fluids, that kind of thing. So I'm just throwing it out there. But no. I'm just imagining things. This just means it's just devil horns. No Satanists pretend to be Christians ever. Nothing like that. None of it. Doesn't happen. Especially not with Ordo Ab Chaos tattooed on their knuckles with "Do What Thou Wilt" across their chest and a sigil of Lucifer as a tattoo artist that you can't seem to cover up because nobody knows why. I would literally want like a giant black dot on my cheek instead of a sigil of Lucifer staring back at me in the mirror every day. If I had the choice. Let's see. Continue having my sigil of Lucifer or black dot on my cheek. Black dot on my cheek will win. But, and as a tattoo artist, I know he's not anymore, but as a tattoo artist for all those years, you'd think he'd kind of be able to just pull somebody over and be like, "Hey, so-and-so, like, could you cover that up for me? Maybe make it something else?" Oh, I know. That's so hard, difficult. No tattoo artist has ever converted a tattoo into something else. Give me a break. Again, it's like the Bieber stuff. So, are you going to keep falling for this stuff? All right. Off my soapbox on that one. Got a little eyeball action again. Here is Asia. Asia with her family. And that's her son. There she is doing a little Baphomet. Or Baphomet. It's kind of like the Crowley. Or I heard somebody said it, Crowley rhymes with holy. So it would be like Crowley. Whatever, dude. That's how, again, you always know like who's the author behind all this. You never know. Is it Baphomet or Baphomet or Crowley or Crowley or Crowley? I don't understand what. Because they like to do it because then they get to be like, you're stupid. You don't even know who you're talking about. It's like, no. Well, I haven't spent the last 25 years reading manuals on human sacrifice and how to practice sex magic. Please forgive me for not being, the Rhodes Scholar of Aleister Crowley. So that's her son. Her father, let's see, do I got a good, yeah. Here's Asia, again, who was dating Anthony Bourdain at the time. So here she is with her dad, who is a satanic horror film maker. Just going to allow that to kind of soak in for a minute or two. Ask you the question, do you think this is generational? So you got dad getting his eye covered up by his daughter, his eyeball. Then you got daughter doing the Baphomet with son throwing up a pyramid over his eyeball. Nah. Here's her son. I guess they've been writing on her hand. Sad Joe. So that's her son. She's covering up her eyeball for you. Here's her son's artwork in the back. Zoom in a little more. There's a little... That's what he drew for his artwork on the wall. So there you go. I'm sure there's other weird questionable stuff there. So like that's her. There you go. Probably actually is someone's eyeball. Or some animal's eyeball in her ring. For all I know. It's probably like a taxidermy eyeball. All right. But no, Anthony Bourdain, you know, there was nothing to that story at all. Let's move along. Astrid, I can't even pronounce your name. Boy, you're so original, Astrid. Aubrey Plaza, I think we started with her. There's Aubrey again. In her interviews, everybody thinks she's just like weird and quirky. Like I'm thinking more like Laurel Canyon type stuff. Jared Leto buying MK Ultra base kind of stuff myself, but I'm crazy me, silly me. Audrey Hepburn. 666 over her eyeball. There she is again. Guess where Audrey was? At the same Rothschild party that we talked about with Salvador Dali. There you go. Oh, that's just a photograph, Adam. Just got cropped. No, that was the original. There she is again. Long before the internet came along, long before, if you were not initiated, you knew what the heck they were doing. Audrey Hepburn. Audrey Tautou or Tattoo, I don't know. This girl, Aurora. That's she's a musician, I guess. Check her out. She throws them all up. Got the one eye, got the wink. You got the Harpocrates, the vow of silence. You got the one eye again with her. Got it again. Got it again. Got it again. Gosh, she just has some eye trouble. Please, someone get this woman some glasses. Austin Mahoney and Camilo Cabello. I don't know who these are, but your kids probably do. There's Austin Mahoney again. Nickelodeon kids. Nickelodeon. There he is again. Got the tongue and the 666. Because if you know anything about what they do with the programming, they demonize them. They don't just split the personality, they attach demons to them. Oh, I know that this is science fiction for you. Go look up George Esterbrook's book Hypnotism and see what he was talking about way back in the day. Talking about, oh yeah, oh, we split personalities. It's been done already. This isn't a theory. We can do it. We've done it. We've created a Manchurian candidate. But they stopped. Guys, the CIA, they stopped. They stopped all of that. They're good now. They play fair now. They're not in league with the forces of darkness to bring about a new world order. Go back to sleep. Don't worry about it. Seriously, don't worry about it. Let Neo and Morpheus take care of it. You just get under your covers and sleep tight. Austin Matthews, he's some kind of sports guy. Maybe a hockey player, I believe. Yeah, Austin Matthews. Don't ask me what the team is. There's Avicii. Avicii was Illuminati sacrificed. You ever notice these news cycles that come out where they're like, they were trying to, no, like, silly one. They may have been a sacrifice, but it's not like they were the good guy all of a sudden. Like, I'm a good guy. I'm not part of the club too. Really? You think so? You think It's always the story though. Like they were coming out and they had the story and they were gonna. Mm-hmm. They just were. Now are some of them real victims? Yeah, they're all victims actually. They're all victims. You know, hoodwinked by the god of this age to basically head dive themselves into their own destruction. So here you got Avril Lavigne. Oh goodness, she's as we'll see here. And then you got Kelly Osbourne, Ozzy Osbourne's daughter. Gee, doesn't fall far from the tree, does it? I wonder if it's generational. Asia Argento, anyone? Nah. Avril, hi. Let's see here. Here's Avril there. Here she is with her then music producer, L.A. Reid, the big mogul. What are you doing there, L.A.? Are you a Satanist forcing your musical artist to be a Satanist? To get their contract and deal? Nah. Oh, come on, guys. She just likes rock and roll. Look at that. That's a known satanic, the biohazard symbol. Plus all the star. That's a pentagram. I mean, you can't even get any clearer than this. Like devil horn, little head thingy. I don't even know what they call those. Tiara. There you go. Devil horn, devil horn, devil horn, devil horn. Oh, Avril. You are a sellout. Pockets of the Future just did a video on her. Apparently she's having a resurgence. Go watch that video when you're done with this. A career resurgence, and like one of the songs is about how she fell in love with the devil. There's Avril without the makeup, of course. This is the magic. This is the lack of magic. Jezebel, by the way. I'm not saying every single woman that wears makeup is of the devil and all this, but I am pointing out that in Scripture, wearing of makeup was associated with Jezebel, and it was just an Egyptian practice as well back in time. It's a form of magic. You're basically... Now, does it make people look prettier? Yeah. Does it make them look more sexually desirable? Yeah. Yeah, more attractive, more desirable. It's a kind of mild form of alchemy. I know, I'm just so silly. Avril, I'm like yawning at this point. Like, come on, man. Skull and Bone, like every single little thing that she can throw up, she throws up. Every one of them. You want some Skull and Bones? I got some Skull and Bones. You want some pyramid? I got a little pyramid for you. I'm Avril. Want a middle finger, one eye? I got it for you. Want a feather, one eye? I got it for you too. Want a Harpocrates? Here you go. Sad, man. Aya Matsura. Sounds Japanese. Again, it's global. 666. Aya Bambi. This is some kind of K-pop band, I think. Ayumi Hamasaki. Sounds Japanese as well. Azalea Banks, who you've seen in the videos with the brujeria, where she cleans up her brujeria closet, which has years of chicken blood dried in the closet. You can find that here on YouTube if you want after. I know, but we're just imagining things. We're connecting dots that aren't really there. So there she is, throwing up the 666. There she is, hanging out in front of the eyeball. You may look at this and not see anything at first. Can anyone find the Wiccan pentagram? The witchcraft pentagram. I can. It's right there. There you go. Got a little pyramid eyeball action. Because what? Program multiple is complete without an obsession with eyeballs. Alleged. I should throw that out there. Alleged cult multiple. It's sad, man. Like these channels are not gonna. It's not gonna last, man. I'm not gonna be on here forever. That's for sure. But who knows? Maybe. Pray to God. God's capable of keeping anything up here that He wants up. You know, He's kept me up here this long. Azalea Banks again. Goodness gracious. It's just... We entered, ladies and gentlemen, we have hit a milestone. We are now in the B's.